Hi there, welcome to the Squirrels, where we're uncovering truths that shake the corridors apart. Today, let's delve into a saga of intrigue, alliances, and outright audacity that could well end up reshaping the world order. Just imagine this for a moment. As the winds of trade wars howl across the globe, India is standing tall, forging bonds with giants like China and Russia, while the United States unleashes its fury in tariffs and tyrants. But the drama, I kid you not, this drama is escalating when a White House hawk fires a missile laced with cultural venom. Is this the dawn of a multipolar world or the spark of a new Cold War? Let's try and unravel the explosive events from the Shanghai Cooperative Organization Summit in Tianjin. Just picture the scene for a moment, folks. A grand assembly in the heart of China's northern port city, Tianjin. Over 20 heads of state from Asia, the Middle East and Central Asia converging in the largest SCO gathering in its 24-year history. Why? To defy the hegemonic grip of American trade. Policies under the US President Donald Trump. Beijing's clarion call for a multipolar world rings loud and clear as tariffs are straining ties with key partners. And at the helm, Chinese President Xi Jinping, hosting this pivotal two-day event that culminates in vows of deeper economic and security ties amongst raging global frictions. But what does this mean specifically for India, which is caught in the crossfire? The spotlight now turns to our own Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, embarking on his first visit to China in 7 long years. In a sideline rendezvous with Xi, they hailed the positive momentum in bilateral relations. Direct flights resume, visa barriers crumble, and cooperation is now blooming in trade, climate, and border harmony. India and China should be partners, not rivals. That's a declaration coming from Xi, urging an atmosphere of peace and stability alongside that treacherous Himalayan frontier scarred by the deadly clashes of 2020. Yet, folks, India's gaze remains wary. Our contentious history with our northern neighbor demands caution. Analysts are whispering that the burden lies squarely on Beijing to prove its sincerity. Open those vast markets to Indian imports, seize restrictions on critical exports like rare earth minerals, heavy machinery, and pharmaceutical APIs. Will China walk the talk, or is this mere diplomatic theater? And then, of course, the plot will thicken. Modi is engaging in vital talks with the Russian President Vladimir Putin as well on the summit's climatic second day. Energy security and defense bonds take center stage as India is grappling with American demands to slash its Russian crude imports, now soaring to over 40% of our oil needs, from a mere whisper before Moscow's 2022 foray into Ukraine. Putin and Modi are reaffirming their special and privileged strategic partnership, with whispers of Putin's grand state visit to India in December to celebrate its 15th anniversary. What a balancing act this one. India is navigating its enduring alliance with Russia while aligning with China to thwart US economic bullying. Is this masterful diplomacy or a high-stakes battle? The summit will seal its defiance with a joint declaration, a resounding call for respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity, and a fierce stand against discriminatory sanctions in global trade. A not-so-subtle jab at Western clamps on Russia over Ukraine, as she proclaims the SCO's greater responsibilities for regional peace, while Putin, in a fiery pre-arrival interview with China's Xinhua, lambasts Western hegemony. But shadows are still looming over Tianjin, cast by Trump's fresh salvo. 50% tariffs on Indian goods slapped on just last week in retaliation for unyielding Russian oil purchase. And hear this outrage, viewers. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is claiming Indian refineries have pocketed $16 billion in excess profits by refining discounted Russian crude and exporting polished products to Europe, Africa, and Asia, sidestepping sanctions like a shadow in the night. Indian officials are firing back with righteous fury, branding these tariffs as hypocritical. After all, the US and EU still import Russian uranium and gas. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar has already thundered, our purchases are driven by national security imperatives, stabilizing global energy prices. If you have a problem buying oil or refined products from India, well, don't buy it. Nobody's forcing you to do that. Bold words that are echoing across the world. India is not bending, that's very clear. But the storm is raging on because now Peter Navarro has entered, the White House trade advisor and architect of Trump's protectionist fortress, unleashing a bizarre barrage in a Fox News interview. Defending the tariffs, he accuses India of becoming nothing but a laundromat for Kremlin, alleging our refiners launder Russian oil to fuel Moscow's war engine. Before Putin invaded Ukraine, India barely bought Russian oil. Now, Russian refiners got into bed with a big oil in India. They refine it and ship it at a big premium, he ranks. And then the unthinkable, a caste-based dagger. Brahmins are profiteering at the expense of Indian people. Modi is a great leader, but I don't understand why he's getting into bed with Putin. These words are now hanging like a thundercloud, igniting global controversy. Many would argue, what audacity which is being displayed here, what cultural insensitivity, and what an uneducated social profiling of Indians. Navarro's Brahmin prophet missile strikes at the heart of India's identity, turning a trade spat into a cultural battlefield. Is this the desperation of a fading superpower or a calculated provocation? As India ties up with China and Russia in this alliance against trade tyranny, the world is watching breathlessly. Will these bonds forge a new era of equity or unravel into chaos? The answers, folks, will lie in the days ahead. But one thing is for sure, India is emerging not as a pawn, but a big powerhouse. If you've liked this video, you can drop us your comments in our comment section.